Welcome to Reality is Undefeated. I'm at Gatewood. Thank you for tuning in. There's a lot of things I used to enjoy as a child that I grew out of, right? One is wrestling. I used to be a huge wrestling fan. WWF, man, come on. Yokozuna versus Undertaker, forget about it, man. Royal Rumbles, casket matches, all of that, man. I'm tuned in faithfully. But as I began to mature, my eyes matured, and I was able to see how fake it was. Even back then, it was fake. It looked a whole lot better than it do now, but it was fake. Another thing that I used to love as a child is watching domino effects. I used to love the little patterns, trying to see how this one domino gonna knock down these other 200. I used to love watching that. But as an adult, I can't stand domino effects. And I can't stand domino effects because I no longer see it with dominoes. It's always people now. Let's get into this story, man. Even when I'm at work and supposed to be resting, I'm working.
This is breaking news. This started breaking late yesterday. So first, Little Durk has been arrested and charged with murder for hire. Now, I want to back it up a bit. So previous to Little Durk being arrested, there were 5 other men that were arrested late Thursday evening. And these 5 men were 5 men that are reportedly connected to OTF, which is Little Durk's I don't know what we call it. That's his label. That's his group. That's his entourage. That's his crew. So these are OTF members, and they were indicted by the feds in California. Now, these 5 men that were indicted are facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire, committing murder for hire resulting in death, as well as the use of, carry, and discharge of firearms and a machine gun in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. Now, the death that is being referred to here by these 5 men is the cousin of rapper Quando Rondo. Now, if you guys remember, some years back, King Von, who was also a brother very close to Little Durk, was killed in an incident in Atlanta. He was shot and killed after there was a fight that broke out. The person and the people involved in that were connected to Quando Rondo, and there's been just this huge back and forth between the two, directly, indirectly, since that happened. So what the feds are alleging is that following all of that, there was a retaliation that was planned allegedly by the OTF members to get back at Quando Rondo, to kill him. And they were hired to do so, allegedly. But that went wrong, and instead they killed Quando Rondo's cousin in LA on accident. Now, forwarding it to Little Durk. So when this news broke, of course, everybody is wait, so what's going to happen with Durk, right? So then a few hours later, it was confirmed via the Broward County Jail website. And as of 6:55 a.m. today, this is Friday, October 25th, Little Durk is still in custody in the Broward County Jail. Per their jail online system, we have the online system records here. So
what's the charge?
The charge, he is listed as, he's being charged with murder for hire. He is being held, the description says he's being held for U.S. Marshals. And whenever you are listed as being held for U.S. Marshals as an inmate, that means that, yes, you are being extradited. You are a federal prisoner, but you're just being locked up by a local agency who is working with the feds to ensure that you get to where you need to go. So they're going to, I'm sure, going to take him to California, where the other 5 men are being indicted at. At this time, there's no bond amount, of course, because he's being extradited, and there is a mugshot that was released as well too. So,
and it's not the feds, right? We said it's the.
So Broward County Jail is not the feds, but when you are in custody of or being held for U.S. Marshals, that means that you are a federal prisoner. So this is a federal situation that he will be involved in. Now, there is no more details on the actual murder for hire charges. A lot of us reporters and just people are kind of piecing things together because his crew members get the murder for hire indictment, and then he gets locked up in Florida local agency see murder for hire, so we put two and two together. But I'm pretty sure by the time, I would say latest 9 a.m., we'll hear more. I have reached out to 2 attorneys that were listed for Durk. I reached out to reps for him yesterday who immediately told me no comment, so I knew something was going down. This was before he even popped up in the jail system, so I was just kind of looking out to see what would happen.
Was he part of one of the 5 initially, or was it?
No, the 5 are separate from Durk, like, altogether. But this is just like, you never want to see something like this happening, right? But I think very unfortunate. But also I think the timing is insane because Durk just tweeted not too long ago, maybe a month ago, about everybody getting a second chance at life because his background was completely wiped. He said everybody should get second chances at life. It's about what you do with it. My background wiped clean of all cases. I'm not a felon anymore. Who would have thought? I want to thank everyone who helped push my vision forward. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And since then, he's actually been doing a lot of community stuff. He recently, for his birthday is October, I believe it's October 19th or the 18th, he held a huge prayer visual, a day of unity in Chicago, right before his big concert that he normally does. I think it's called like Durk and Friends in Chicago, which was like, there were tons of people there. It was all over the place. So the timing of all this is just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I pray it's not true. I don't have an opinion until I, get more information. But if it's true, that would be incredibly sad.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody can really have an opinion until this is, you know what I mean? We got to see what happens. But as we've seen in like the indictment of Young Thug, these things take time. So it's like now he's going to be there away from his family, his kids, all of that until all of this is sorted out. So we will keep you guys updated. Again, I mentioned that I did reach out to some people on Durk's side, just trying to figure out. Also reach out to, because I was confused about where he was also at. I thought it was going to be in Chicago or California. And I was reaching out there and he's in Florida. So we'll keep you guys updated and let you know, what else is going to be happening because, man, never want to see it. But this is what's, yeah. No, I have a question for you, though. If all of this, because I was.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. For one, I can't play the entire video. YouTube doesn't allow you to. I don't even know where to start, man. I don't even know where to start. This is not an essay. These are just thoughts right off the top of my head, man. I don't know where to start when it comes to these things because there is not a single person in this world that I've disliked or, dare I say, hated, that I wanted to see something done to them so bad that I'd risk not being able to see my family, not being able to be there for my family, not being able to, do stuff with my kids. It's not a person I'm going to risk that for. It makes me question, like, do y'all think they just don't see the big picture? Or do y'all think that they just don't think they'll get caught when it comes to stuff? Like, what makes people think that they're going to get away with certain stuff in these days? Who was that Chicago rapper? Duck? FBG Duck? The people that killed him, they had them on video from the time they left the apartments. They got them driving down the highway, driving down the street, pulling up to the store. The entire process is on video. Look at the Memphis situation. That whole Memphis and Dolph situation is tragic. There is no other word to describe. There's no other word to describe it. It is tragic. The amount of people that fell behind killing that man, and the people that killed him didn't even have any real ties to him. Like they didn't even dislike him. It was behind money. $800. And then I think one of them said they got $500. You knocked the man off for car note money. You got the people behind that. What's the dude name? Govan Hernandez. His daughter got killed behind that. Daughter ain't had nothing to do with that. She got killed in Texas. I don't know if it was Dallas or Houston that she got killed in. Didn't have nothing to do with that situation at all. Her father got her killed. And you had other people on the streets, from what I hear, getting knocked off. They said some comedian made a joke about Dolph killing and got knocked off. You got Juk getting knocked off, going to a funeral. Like, and then you got the killers. You know, one of the dudes already got hit with the L. Already got hit with the life in prison for his role. Like, that whole situation is tragic. Y'all don't think people understand the amount of destruction. This ain't you killed one of my partners, I killed one of your partners. No, when it came to that King Von situation, you got King Von get killed. Y'all go try and knock off Quando Rondo, end up killing his cousin. Now it's 1-1. But 5 of you just got indicted, and now Durk, so that's 6. That's 7-1. You lost 7, they lost 1. Think about how many families is losing though. How much money is out the community going to an attorney now? Yo kids losing. How many kids out of the 8 people that caught an L in a situation? How many kids? Out of all the people that fell behind that duck killing in Chicago, how many kids lost their fathers? How many kids lost their fathers in Memphis? We had a situation here in Vegas not too long ago. I don't even want to speak on it because it's too close. Talking about somebody I grew up with, whose father I called an uncle. Now, I ain't seen a little brother since he was 2-3 years old, so I'm not going to act like me and him we follow each other on, Instagram and all of that. But I grew up with Grip. No, let me correct that. I grew up with Junior. If you know, you know. I was 3412 Blake. They was 3425 Blake. If you don't know the story, my boy and a bunch of others got PPP loans through this one dude. And these people failed to pay him his cut of the PPP loans for whatever reason. So he hired somebody to get the knocking them off. But my boy was in the feds behind the same PPP loan. He couldn't touch him. So he went and knocked off his father. Bill Hill, B-Boy, Lil Bill, as we called him, he was a staple in the community. You talking about somebody who was loved by everyone. Somebody who was one of one. One of them ones. That man didn't deserve to die that way. Out in front of his home, helping somebody. He didn't deserve to have somebody come up and do that to him. Right after it happened, my sister called me. Hello? Hey, yeah, Uncle Bill just got shot. She texted me maybe 30 minutes to an hour later. He didn't make it. End up doing all of that, paying for all of these people to get knocked off, just for you to get knocked off behind it. And I already knew, through my line, that it was B-Boy people that knocked him off. I had to read last week, though, to find out it was BJ, his youngest son. And I'm not saying that any of these people was perfect. In fact, I know for a fact that most of them aren't. But Bill Hill, he didn't deserve to die like that, man. That man was a king in Northtown. That man was supposed to go out of old age. That's how loved he was. Over some money that his son owed you. And this ain't even youngsters we talking about when it comes to that situation. Like, I don't think people understand the true destruction that happens. Now, from what I understand, Durk was making a change in his life. I don't know if he was doing all of this because he got a word saying that, hey, them people's looking at you and he trying to correct his image beforehand. But, what I say is, man, just like I said with, Black China, just like I said with her, when you make the decision to change your life around, I'm not worried about your past at that point. I'm rocking with who you are going forward. When you come out and say that this is who you are and who you trying to be going forward, I root for you. But we all make decisions, and unfortunately, those decisions have consequences, man. I just hate seeing the destruction. That's it. But anyway, man, I'm not gonna ramble too much longer, bro. This is crazy. We don't know how many dominoes are behind the first one we push. These are children, families, whole communities that are falling behind these decisions. We gotta think.